Hi, this is Brittany, 12 hours before my shift. 12 hours after my shift.
Hey, my name is Christian Bassnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more content, and also help me reach my goal of making it to 15K subscribers before Wimbledon officially ends. After a dud day of quarterfinals yesterday, the Wimbledon women's semifinals did not disappoint at all. Our first Final Four matchup was the longest Wimbledon ladies semifinal in history, clocking in at 2 hours and 51 minutes. Jasmine Paolini reached her second consecutive slam final after defeating Donna Vekic 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, 10-8 in that 10-point deciding set tiebreaker. Paolini is the first woman to make the finals of both Roland Garros and Wimbledon in the same year, since Serena Williams did it back in 2016, and she is also the first Italian woman in history in the Open era to reach this stage at SW19. This was the clear best women's match of the tournament, but it did not look like that was going to be the case at first, as Vekic dominated the proceedings for the first set and a half. I knew it was going to be a long day for Paolini when she needed 8 minutes to hold serve in the opening game of the match. Jasmine struggled on serve for much of the first half of the match. She got broken twice in the opening set. The set 1 stats really just tell the story of the set, of course. Jasmine served very poor, only landing 47% of her first serves in the box, so she mainly hit second serves. However, her second serve points won percentage was dismal, only taking 28% of those points. Vekic was completely on top of those second serve looks, and she ate pretty much every last one of them up that she got from Paolini. Vekic, meanwhile, was practically untouchable on her first and second serves, really, winning 91% of points whenever she got the first serve in. Vekic's placement on her serve was very strong, and she took advantage of the 5'3" Italian's short wingspan. Donna hit 12 winners, 7 more than Jasmine, and she hit just 9 unforced errors, the same amount as Paolini. The Croatian dominated most of the baseline exchanges too, mainly with that big forehand finishing shot, as it was by far the biggest shot out there on the court, at least aside from Vekic's serve. Vekic also took advantage of Paolini's lack of depth on her ground strokes, and that's why she was able to really get Paolini on her back foot for much of the first set and a half. Paolini is a fighter though, and she really did not play that much different than how she played in the opening set. Her serve was still not that great to begin the second set, and she was under duress in practically each of her service games in this second set. But she did well to hang in there and keep the scoreboard pressure on Vekic, with her being able to serve first. She also used the crowd Jasmine well to her advantage, as Paolini was the clear crowd favorite out there. This could have been a comprehensive straight sets win, to be honest, for Vekic. There were a few big moments in that second set to where I think that if she took them, she'd be in the ladies' final. First was at 1-all, where in the first point of the game, Donna hit a lob that was called out, but it was actually in, and really that should have been her point. She still had a break chance in that game, being up 30-40, but she overcooked a sitter forehand, so that could have been a key break of serve for her. The very next return game for Vekic, she fumbled another sitter forehand on break point, and she missed a return on her second opportunity in that game. The big turning point in the second set was at 4-all, 15-all on Paolini's serve. Vekic, she had a sitter overhead that she let bounce, but she missed it badly. Paolini only dropped one more game for the rest of that set, as clearly Vekic was routed from the miss. I do want to give credit though to Jasmine for improving her service numbers tremendously, while Vekic, she definitely dropped off a bit in that department. Some of that though was due to Jasmine just being more willing to attack the Vekic second serve. Paolini remained even kill on the ground, hitting 9 winners to 9 unforced errors, and meanwhile Vekic, she once again hit 12 winners, but this time she sprayed 18 unforced errors, which aided Paolini quite a bit. Vekic took a break after dropping the second set going off the court, and it definitely seemed to help her as she got the very first game of the third set, breaking Paolini. She had a chance to go up the double break at 2-love, but she missed a routine backhand return to let Jasmine right back in. Paolini got the break back at 3-2, playing one of the best, most aggressive games that we saw from her in the entire match. The next 2 games saw a drop-off in level from the servers as there was an exchange of breaks leading us to 4-all. There would be no more breaks of serve for the remainder of the match from that point forward though, but there'd still be plenty of drama. As Vekic started to crumble emotionally, Jasmine held match point at 4-5, 30-40, but she missed a return. Then at 5-all, in a game where we saw 5 deuce points, Vekic held 2 break points, but she fumbled them the same exact way, missing routine backhand returns. After Paolini's gutsy hold, Vekic broke down some more emotionally and she cried. And after she faced her second match point in that 5-6 game, I thought it was curtains for sure. But credit to the Croat, she showed an exceptional fight, finishing an intense baseline exchange with a forehand down the line winner to erase that second match point. The 10-point tiebreaker was full of ups and downs too, but the more solid of the two, Paolini, just came out on top and played the best tennis in the bigger moments, which is why she is now a 2-time slam finalist. This was a great, enthralling match, and really it could end up being one of the top 5 best match of the year. It will not be number 1. That spot is reserved for Sabalenka Swiatek Madrid final, but still a worthy adversary somewhat. Donna really was the better player in this entire match, and she literally won 7 more points than Paolini did. It's definitely going to be a disappointing loss for her, probably the most disappointing loss I think that she's had in her entire career, because really I think she should be a Grand Slam finalist. But in hindsight, kind of looking at the glass half full, she really was close to kind of calling it quits multiple times in her career, namely just over a month ago before Roland Garros, where she kind of was exhausted and wasn't feeling like she was getting the results that she wanted, but she kept at it, and this grass season has been tremendous for her. Not only did she reach her first slam semifinal here at Wimbledon, but she reached a 500 final in Bad Homburg, which really was the start of something great for her. Vekic is also on the cusp of returning to the top 20 with this semifinal appearance, now sitting at 21, and she's now 2 spots away from her career high ranking of 19, which I think she will for sure surpass. If she plays like how she did this tournament, there's no reason why we can't see her back at this semifinal stage at a major. But Paolini's recent experience of winning big matches really, I think, got her through. Both of these women are 28, but Jasmine is the one who has the greater experience, like I just said, thanks to her breakout season. And it really has all been in 2024 for her, where she's had these milestone accomplishments. And she's going to be cracking the top 5 on Monday, which is very much well-deserved. Jasmine proved a lot of people wrong. A lot of people thought that she was a fluke after she made the Roland Garros final and thought that, phew, we never are going to see Jasmine Paolini in this stage again, thankfully so. But no, she proved so many people wrong this tournament. It's even more impressive too when you consider how Paolini had never won a match on grass before this season. So to do that and then not only win your first match on grass this year and first match at Wimbledon, you go and make the finals, that's in testament to how well Paolini has improved this season. Jasmine has a solid lock on most improved player of the year for sure. I think another factor worth noting is how both of these women had 2 drastically different experiences out there on the court. Vekic looked she looked miserable out there. She was not only crying, but she even sat down on the line judge's chair. She was out of breath. She looks like that often on court, mind you, but still. Paolini, on the flip side, she was enjoying herself out there. She was fighting, smiling, and I really loved seeing her and Mama Paolini being lit for each other too. Jasmine Paolini's mama is for sure one of my new favorite tennis parents. To reiterate the theme, Vekic was the better player, but Jasmine's fight is the reason why she won this match. Speaking of fight, Barbora Krejcikova showed a ton of it in her 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 semifinal win over Elena Rybakina. Rybakina was the favorite in this match coming into this one, and she played like it the first 4 games as she won them all, and she started beautifully and out-hit Krejcikova from the ground. Something shifted though in that 4-love game, as there we saw a few more sloppy, unforced errors from Rybakina, and she let Krejcikova get on the board, breaking her. Rybakina recovered the break soon after, and she looked well on her way to closing out the opening set 6-1 as she was up 5-1, 30-love on her serve. But Krejcikova, just giving credit to her, she rushed the 4th seed, particularly on that backhand to break once again. Rybakina held 2 set points at 5-2 on Krejcikova's serve, but that second set point low-key might keep her up at night. She netted a sitter forehand approach, and while she did ultimately close out the first set on her serve, the following game. If she had finished off that forehand like she should have, we could have had a much different result. I said that because she would have been serving first in that second set, which makes a big difference, in my opinion, psychologically, and it would have given her the mental edge in the scoreline. Also, Krejcikova would have had practically no confidence going into the second set on her serve, as up until that point, she had not held serve at all, serving pretty dismal. Krejcikova, I think, definitely gained a lot of confidence in her serve after squeaking out that 2-5 game, and it was evident in the second set. She served considerably better in that second, and she started finding more first serves, which is a big factor in why she wasn't successful in the first set. She had a very low first serve percentage, but she had that first serve percentage raised tremendously in the second and third sets. Rybakina she had a breakpoint look in each of Krejcikova's first 3 service games. Barbora saved them all, of course, thanks to solid serving, but Rybakina definitely let her off the hook with some of those missed returns in those games. Krejcikova also did well to maintain a lot of scoreboard pressure in keeping her foot on her neck with those holders of serves, and I think it got to Rybakina, who played a very sloppy service game to give Krejcikova the lone break of the second set at 3-2. Krejcikova definitely showed a little bit of nerves and was a little bit shaky when trying to close out the second set, but she was able to do it. I think that Barbora did a great job of improving her court positioning thanks to playing a little bit more of an aggressive game style and not being afraid to really hit that ball against Rybakina from the ground. Also, she did well to mix in some slices and chips to kind of tinker with Rybakina's rhythm. The big difference in the third set was Rybakina having far less opportunities at breaking Krejcikova's serve due to her poor returning. Elena missed a lot of returns. I think if Krejcikova made a first serve, it just was not good for Elena at all. Giving credit to Barbora, though, I think she played an awesome game to get that lone break at 3-all in the third set. We saw a few silly misses from Rybakina, but also some solid shots from the Czech woman. Elena had her last little opening, being up love 30 at 4-3, but Krejcikova literally served her way out of trouble to get the hold, and she served the match out with no problem at love. The match was decided ultimately by great serving from Krejcikova and poor serving from Rybakina. Surprisingly, Krejcikova outserved Rybakina, which was not the story of the tournament. The story of the tournament for Rybakina coming into this one was her by far outserving all her opponents. But Krejcikova did a great job of making her play, getting returns back in play, and forcing some errors out of Rybakina's racket. Really, it was just disappointing and sloppy from Rybakina. There were so many opportunities to where she really could take that 6-3, 6-3 win, but she just was not solid and didn't rise to the occasion whenever she had those openings. And she thought that Krejcikova would just give her those openings and maybe that Barbora would feel some nerves towards the end, because Rybakina, she did play better a little bit towards the end, but Krejcikova, she's a Grand Slam champion in her own, and she showed her experience too, closing out that match tremendously. Krejcikova showed a lot of fight out there. It was annoying as hell to hear all those poich, but it's why she was the winner at the end of the day. Rybakina, she's of course the ice queen, very even kill, but maybe that doesn't bode as well for her ultimately. I think that maybe if she showed a little bit more firepower, a little bit more outward fight, then maybe she could do something. But it was the same story we saw at Roland Garros in the quarterfinals against Jasmine Paolini, a match where I think Rybakina really could have won. Jasmine showed a lot more fight, and I think that Jasmine's outward, expressions of emotion low-key probably got to Rybakina. This slam, being very blunt, was on Rybakina's racket. She should have beaten Krejcikova, and I think that if she were to progress to the finals, she would be a massive favorite against Paolini. Not to take anything away from Paolini, but the matchup, I think, would favor Jasmine. However, even if Rybakina were to get to the finals, as she showed us today, there's no telling that she could just crumble like she did against Krejcikova. If you make Rybakina play, she crumbles, and I did not expect this. But it's like low-key the spirit of Elena Ostapenko took her over. And it's not like it's some new thing. We've seen it before, namely once again at the Roland Garros quarterfinal. Really, it makes us wonder, She's still very young in her career. I think she's 25 years old, 24, 25. But her having these crumbles like this in the slams and the big tournaments, it makes us wonder, is she a one slam wonder? I do think we need to give her time, but she has not reached a slam final since the 2023 Australian Open, and she has not won a Masters 1000 title since Rome in 2023. Most of her titles have been, or pretty much all of her titles have been 500s. She pretty much is a 500 level merchant. She has not shown us high level tennis in the latter stages of big tournaments, and that's the concern I have for her. She really should have more slam success, and maybe more is coming. But when it comes down to winning these slams, you have to take any little opportunity you can get. And this was a massive one for Rybakina. Donna and Rybakina, the two big hitters, had more firepower and on paper should have won their matches. But in the end, superior fight and craft won out. Congratulations, Jasmine and Barbora, on excellent semifinal wins. And I'm actually looking forward to Saturday's final. Are y'all surprised by today's results, namely Rybakina losing to Krejcikova? Also, do you think that Rybakina's loss is a cause of concern for her, and that possibly, even though she is younger, her time is ticking on winning that second slam? Let me know in the comments if you do feel like we will see Rybakina lift a major title yet again, or if you think maybe her window of opportunity somehow was closing. Also, feel free to drop your early women's final predictions in the comments too. Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I do post my women's final preview. Thank y'all so much for your support, and I'll see y'all next time here on Christian's Court.